What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today, like so much so I am in both physical and mental pain because of the amount of information I had to gather, so please do me a favor, watch until the end if you can. Clayton Kershaw is in his 16th Major League Baseball season, which makes me feel really old. He is going for his 200th career win. Ohtani, he showed why he was the best player in New York. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to go over very well in the comment section down below. But speaking of players in New York, Aaron Judge spoke out about Ohtani's free agency, the fact that he will be available after 2023, and he basically said that he wants Ohtani on the Yankees, or at least that's what I'm assuming. I'm putting two and two together. And also, Christian Yelich is waking up at the exact same time as Cody Bellinger. Are Yelly and Belly officially back? I hope so. A really quick reminder, if you're going to any baseball games, concerts, anything like that anytime soon, save yourself 20 bucks off on SeatGeek using code Fuzzy, and we're so close to 450,000 subs, so keep up with the insane support. I really appreciate it. Now, unfortunately, we do have to talk about some terrible news. If you're a Rays fan, Jeffrey Springs is going to be missing the entirety of 2023 with Tommy John surgery. He has been electric since last year, a combined 2.2 ERA with 168 strikeouts over his last 151 innings. I feel so bad for not only him, but Rays fans as well. So Tampa Bay, they're going to have this kid, Taj Bradley, step up in replacement of a guy that was pretty much on the cusp of becoming a star, Jeffrey Springs. The Rays faced off against the Reds, and just when I thought the Rays couldn't impress me more, they pulled this game out of their hat. I don't care that it was against the Reds. I still feel like the Reds are underrated, at least that's my opinion. This was an ultra impressive and terrifying game. Taylor Walls, he hit a solo shot, and Yandy Diaz, he just stays deleting baseballs. He has 14 home runs and a 144 OPS plus over his last 153 games, and I think at the time of this recording, he just went yard again. Taylor Walls, he laid down RBI triple later on, so he keeps racking up the total bases, and so does Randy, his fourth home run of the year. Question for you guys, is Randy Arozarena now a top face of baseball considering the playoff success, the World Baseball Classic, the fact that Randy Arozarena kind of is a household name if you're a baseball fan? So let me know in the comments. Now, I do have to talk about some pitching because Taj Bradley, he actually was amazing. He made smoothies and milkshakes out of the Reds lineup. He struck out 9 in under 6 innings. That is not easy to do. He only allowed 4 base runners the entire night, and his fastball is already ranking it as one of the best in baseball. Taylor Walls had another home run, giving him like 10 or 12 total bases on the day, and Francisco Mejia made it double-digit scoring. That was a huge W for the Rays after hearing that awful news about Jeffrey Springs. Now, the Reds kind of took a W even though they lost. They gave Hunter Green a 6-year extension worth $53 million, so he joins Pablo Lopez and Logan Webb as some pitchers to get locked up over the last few days. So we have a doubleheader to talk about real quick. The Tigers and the Guardians. Cleveland jumped Matthew Boyd in the 4th to take a 3-1 lead, but if you know anything about Cleveland and 3-1 leads, they are never safe. Listen, I can make that joke, okay? Don't tell me how to deal with my trauma. Javier Baez has been El Mago since being benched. He's hitting 370 with 6 RBIs since his brain got unplugged mid-inning and forgot how many outs there were. He was benched, but ever since that point, he has been amazing. Kerry Carpenter, he tied it up, and then there's the game winner. I'm having fun recapping this, guys. I am not lying, but no, GG's Tigers fans, Kerry Carpenter is him. He has 9 home runs and an 800 OPS in his first 145 at-bats. That's really good for a young guy. Now, time for game 2. This was one of the quickest games I have ever witnessed. This game ended in 1 hour and 50 minutes, which means you could have watched this game before the movie Cars ended. Yeah, Cars has a longer runtime. Rookie Peyton Banfield has looked really good over his first few starts, but he was bested by Riley Green and Erod. And also Matt Vierling of the Tigers, he robbed Josh Naylor. Good thing they lowered that wall in right field because I think that ball might have been gone or off the wall if it wasn't lowered. Both Green and Torkelson have been super disappointing, so any sort of production from those guys is welcome. And Erod Eduardo Rodriguez, he was nearly perfect. He didn't walk anyone. He struck out 10 over 8 scoreless. I'm really happy for him because he went missing last year. He had a rough start to his Tigers tenure. So the fact that he was carving yesterday, I'm happy for him, even if it meant sending me into a deep depression. So the Tigers, they sweep the doubleheader. They're now 5-0 since Javier Baez got benched. And a crazy stat for you guys, that hour and 50-minute game was the shortest baseball game since Armando Galarraga faced off against the Indians back in the day. That game was an hour and 44 minutes, but it would have been even shorter had Jim Joyce not botched a perfect game. I can't believe that was the last time a game was that short. The Red Sox and the Twins, I cannot wait to say this next sentence. Chris Sale is back, baby. He's been so bad to begin the season. So 11 strikeouts, 1 run over 6 innings. That lowered his ERA to 8. He has an 8 ERA, even though he shredded up Minnesota. Now, regardless, it was nice to see him out there just doing his thing. Remember, he owns the MLB record for strikeouts per 9 over a career with 11.1. Sonny Gray was amazing as well. 26 strikeouts and a .82 ERA through his first 4 starts of the season. So both Sonny Gray and Chris Sale, they only allowed 1 earned run each. This one needed extras, so we're going to skip to the 10th inning where Boston, they find themselves down by not anymore. Reese McGuire spanks a 2-run single to tie it at 4 runs apiece, and Verdugo, he walks it off. He's hitting .350 on the year, and he has a 110 OPS plus since being traded to Boston, so not otherworldly, but he's been pretty solid. The Red Sox are 9-9, which is not too bad considering they were pretty much written off. 9-9 is solid. I mean, at least for them. Another doubleheader, we have the Phillies and the White Sox. From one sock, the red one, to another one, the white one. Bryson Stott, he made some Phillies history. He started the season with a 16-game hitting streak, which is a Philadelphia Philly record. Castellanos singled in Bryson, and Bohm knocked in 2 more off of Lance Lynn, who has looked terrible to begin the season. Josh Harrison had a big night. It started in the 3rd with an RBI single, and it finished in the 7th with a clutch 2-run home run, his first of the season. That could be a very sneaky good signing by the end of the year. Jose Alvarado, he struck out 2 to grab his 2nd save. He has 18 strikeouts in 7 innings. That means he has a 22.1 strikeouts per 9. My goodness. Game number 2, Chicago had their ace on the bump. Well, I should say former ace, because Dylan Cease, he snatched that title right from the hands of Lucas Giolito. But Lucas looked great in game 2 of the doubleheader. He got a decent lead in the 1st off of Jake Berger's lightning strike of a home run. That ball left the bat at 118 miles an hour. He has 5 home runs and a 254 OPS plus. Hello? I mean, that's really good. Back to Lucas, because he and the pitching staff were the real story. 6 shutout innings and 7 strikeouts. Lucas did not walk anyone, and I forgot to mention, he didn't allow a single base hit. The bullpen was just as devastating. They combined for a 9-inning shutout with 12 strikeouts, 1 hit the entire game. Now, one small win for Phillies fans, even though they split that doubleheader. Look at Bryce Harper. He's fielding at first base, and also he took a full at bat versus Ranger Suarez. So Ranger, he's trying to come back and be healthy. Same with Bryce Harper. The Phillies are going to be infinitely better when both Ranger and Bryce are back on the squad, and it looks like Harper's almost ready, and same for Ranger. The Diamondbacks and the Cardinals, I always have to show Paul Goldschmidt highlights if there are any. He's just casually hitting .330 with 8 extra base hits after that 1st inning home run. Shifting gears though, this game was all Arizona for the next hour and a half. They tied at 2-2 after Walker doubled in Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Now the bases are still loaded. Nick Ahmed, I thought that he was going to swing and miss because he swung at a ball that hit the dirt, but he put that ball in play. He channeled his inner Vladimir Guerrero Sr. for 1 at bat. He brought home 2 as that swing was blessed by the gods themselves. Gabriel Moreno, the youngster, he didn't need any help from anyone on that swing. 400 feet on that 3-run blast for his first career home run as a member of the Diamondbacks. Now, luckily for Arizona, Evan Longoria had a clutch RBI single in the 7th. It didn't look clutch when it happened, but yeah, the Cardinals, they stormed back. Contreras went bananas, 2 home runs and 3 RBIs over the final few innings to bring it within 1, but Miguel Castro, he put out the fire. The Diamondbacks are 11-7. The Cardinals are the flip side, 7-11, so some early season hot takes. Where do we think that these 2 teams will end up? Can Arizona hold on, and can the Cardinals fight back? Let me know. The Astros scored 4 and the Jays scored less than 4. This game should be a reminder to the world that Chris Bassett is still very good at throwing baseballs, and this Jays team should not be messed with. On top of that, you just saw Vladdy Jr. basically flick his wrist and the ball flew over the fence for an Oppo Taco. He's batting .360 with 3 home runs. Matt Chapman has been unconscious in the batter's box. He owns a blistering .415 batting average with 5 home runs and a near .800 slugging percentage. He also leads baseball in doubles. Bo Bichette made it a 4 spot for Chris Bassett, who was rock solid. 3 hits, 5 strikeouts over nearly 7 shutout frames. The Toronto staff has gotten lit up. I'm not going to lie. Kevin Gausman, you have Chris Bassett, and Mr. Alek Manoah all getting lit up a few times to begin the year, but their arms are just getting loosened up. They're going to be much better. Jordan Romano, very quietly, is turning in one of the best beginnings to a career for any relief pitcher. A 2.09 ERA and an almost 12 strikeouts per 9 since 2020. He has 7 saves already. The Giants and the Marlins, the future is bright down in Miami, or at least I hope it is, because we've been saying that for a few years now. Jazz Chisholm Jr. hit a monster home run. That 3-run blast went to the second deck. Jazz now has 17 home runs and 17 stolen bases over his last 77 games with a 131 OPS plus. That is insane, by the way. Edward Cabrera, who's a legend in the MLB The Show community, he diced up the Giants, 8 strikeouts over 6 pretty solid frames. He allowed 2 earned runs, but still a solid quality start. There's AJ Puck shutting it down yet again for his 3rd save of the year. Both he and Luzardo, 2 former Oakland Athletics, have been nasty this year. Miami, they're 10-8. All right, here we go. The Angels facing off against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. Ohtani just does not make sense anymore. That was a 117-mile-per-hour home run, his 4th of the year. He has a 152 OPS plus and a 0.86 ERA on the mound. We will never see another Shohei Ohtani for the rest of our lives. Rendon, he finally showed some signs of life after the Halos were able to hit around as the Angels bullpen, I can't believe I'm saying this, they were basically unhittable. 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, just 1 hit allowed. Jose Quijada, in my opinion, I think that he's going to be better going forward as the closing role over someone like Carlos Estevez, but maybe the Angels should go with closer by committee. Whoever has the better matchups, they're going to be in the 9th inning. I feel like that's smarter. Now, after the game, Aaron Judge was very complimentary of Shohei Ohtani. He was asked about Ohtani's impending free agency. This was his quote. He basically had to cut himself off and bite his tongue before, I don't know if there's collusion laws or anything like that in Major League Baseball, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was about to say that he hopes Shohei Ohtani likes Home Alone 2 and the plot and Macaulay Culkin and the fact that New York is a really cool city. Okay, all jokes aside, we can put 2 and 2 together. We all know that Aaron Judge was probably going to say, I hope that Shohei likes New York, and Ohtani, he does. There was a quote from Ohtani after the game where he says that Yankees fans are passionate. He loves playing in Yankee Stadium, and the Yankees, they have a bunch of money. So if they go full-blown Ohtani in 2024, I would not be surprised, even though it's going to cost probably $600 or $700 million to do so. Pittsburgh and the Rockies, KB did it again. No, I'm not talking about kissing Kate Barlow from Holes. I'm talking about Chris Bryant. He's actually been pretty good in his first 59 games as a Rocky. He has 16 doubles, 8 home runs while hitting .310. That's pretty good. I wanted to give Colorado fans something positive to listen to because the wheels fell off pretty quickly. Jack Sawinski has a home run in back-to-back at-bats going back to the last game that he played in. And there's a 3rd home run and as many ABs. The kid has 23 home runs in his first 117 games, so the power is legit. David Bednar came in for an easy 9th inning. He wrapped up his 5th save as the Pirates pushed their record to an impressive 11-7. Is that sustainable? I have no idea, but it's been a lot of fun to watch. What a snooze fest to start this next game. The Cubs and the A's. I mean, don't get me wrong, pitching duels, they can be fun. You know what? Actually, let me walk that back. Shout out to these 2 guys for showing why they're big leaguers in the first place and why I'm not. Ken Waldachek, he was human batting practice to begin the year, but he threw 5 shutout with 5 strikeouts in this one. Need more of that because if you don't remember, he was one of the top prospects from the Yankees in that Frankie Montas trade last year. Marcus Stroman was flexing his sorcery yet again. He doesn't throw super hard, but he doesn't need to because he can spin it. He blanks Oakland over 6 with 6 strikeouts. He's thrown 24 innings. He's only allowed 2 runs the entire year. Cody Bellinger finally broke the scoring stalemate. Chicago broke out some more after that. They end up with 4 by simply putting the ball in play. Trevor May has been very vocal about his displeasure with the pitch clock, but he takes another L, and I just have to pass off the question to you guys. After 2+ weeks of baseball being back in action, what are our opinions on the pitch clock? Me? I don't even notice it anymore. I just see more action and less dilly-dallying. Baseball gods, if you can hear me, I am praying to you right now. Christian Yelich, the man that you're seeing on your screen right now, please continue allowing him to go off. He stays back and he sends that one the other way. He grabbed another RBI on a single later in the 3rd. Again, please, baseball gods, keep Yelly in the palm of your hands and give him the comeback that we're all waiting for. Now, Adames, he doubled in Yelly to give Milwaukee a comfortable 3-0 lead, but the next clip, you can see that they're losing. Yeah, Colin Ray turned back into Colin Ray. He is not a good starting pitcher. I'm sorry. So the offense gonna have to pick him up, and of course they did. Adames, he tied it on his 4th home run of the season, and both bullpens were very stingy, so we're gonna have to go to extras. And there's Adames again. Even though it was a ground out, he did his job. He put the ball in play. Milwaukee, they win by 1 single run. The Braves, they beat the Padres by more than 1 run yesterday. Atlanta has 4 of the 5 most unfair cheat code contracts in all of baseball. Ronald Acuna Jr., Ozzie Albies, Sean Murphy, and Matt Olson are making a combined like $50 million this year. Murphy's last 11 base hits have all been extra base hits. Spencer Strider, he's making history on the bump. He's still just 24 years old. He was nasty as ever, tossing 6 shutout innings, 1 base hit. He struck out 9 again, which was his 8th consecutive game with 9 or more strikeouts, tying John Smoltz for an Atlanta Braves record. Anyways, Atlanta, they popped off again. Albies has 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, and a 276 on base percentage. So Ozzy Albies, he's back. Matt Olson is actually insane. Like, can we call him Matt Swolson? 6 home runs, 20 RBIs. Atlanta is 14-4. They're not slowing down for anyone anytime soon. The Dodgers and the Mets faced off, and the retirement home was popping off last night. Look at these old dudes just going off. JD Martinez swatted a 2-run blast in the first inning and then a solo shot later in the third. And Clayton Kershaw, who is in his 16th season, again, that just makes me feel really old. He must have gone skinny dipping in the hot tub time machine the night before, because we saw Clayton Kershaw being vintage Kershaw. 7 completely dominant innings, no walks, 3 hits on 9 punch-outs, and 81 of his 102 pitches were thrown for strikes. JD Martinez has 13 RBIs and a 126 OPS plus. Kershaw got his 200th career victory. The resume is insane. A 3-time Cy Young winner, probably should have been more. He's an MVP, a World Series winner. He has a career 2.48 ERA, and he's just 167 strikeouts away from 3,000. The Rangers and the Royals, Texas had a tough matchup on their hands because they were facing the mighty Brad Keller and the talented Kansas City lineup. I'm trying to build suspense, okay? As you can see, the score was fairly close after the first 6 innings because Nathan Eovaldi, he was barely holding on to a 3-2 lead, but it ain't 3-2 anymore. Sandy Leon is still finding ways to steal money from big league clubs. He is terrible, but tip of the cap, he is a big leaguer and I am not. And I tried to warn you guys a few recaps ago that you cannot let Marcus Semien get hot. I believe that is 3 games in a row with a home run. By the way, I don't purposely not show a bunch of pitching highlights. It's just there are so many offensive clips to download. It's kind of hard to get pitching highlights. Maybe I'm just lazy. I don't know. I'm not lazy. These videos are so hard to make. Put some respect on my name. But right on cue, Adolis Garcia yanks one. He has 4 home runs and 17 RBIs. Texas, they're now 2nd in scoring, which is crazy because they're not top 10 in slugging, on base percentage, or OPS. But get this, they're hitting 340 as a team with runners in scoring position, and that's number 1 in baseball. They are the clutchest team in baseball through the first 2 weeks. This has easily been one of the longest recaps of my life, so this game felt like I was stranded in the desert, and then I came across a random oasis. This game saved me. Austin Hayes had an RBI single in the 4th to seal a victory for the Orioles. Yes, they won 1-0 because they got a gem from Dean Kremer, who basically went 7 shutout. He only allowed 4 base hits. He struck out 6 along the way. That is a masterclass in my book. Baltimore's bullpen, they have been led by Felix Bautista. He has 5 saves, so Josiah Gray, he takes the very hard L. He went 5 innings, 1 run, but that's baseball. He lost. Do not go anywhere. We're going to show the web gems in just a second, but that does it for me. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, because we're on the road to 450,000 subs. And like I said, enjoy the web gems.
Now Jake Myers, and what a catch! Matt Chapman. Perfect diving play. 3-time Gold Glover.
And this one lined into center field, base hit. Jankowski to third, they wave him. Isbell's throw is in time.
Mike hit a home run in that game. He's got one tonight, and Jazz ranging back like
He put his head down. Look at him. He puts his head down, glances up.
Swinger will loop this one softly into right. Santander comes on and makes the catch.
Phil made an outstanding play against the
Ball hit hard. What a play by Jose Abreu. Steps on the bag and robs Varsho. Be a 6-0 lead if Abreu doesn't snag this.
Abreu.